easy. We have a lot of people registered, probably about 80 to 90 people at least, and so we're seeing attendees coming on in. We'll just wait just maybe a minute or so before we have everybody come on in. We want to give everybody an opportunity to get situated for this, so we'll just wait about a minute or so. All righty, again, I just wanted to say thank you for everybody showing up today and being a part of this webinar. We have people coming on in, and we're just going to wait for maybe just a half a minute more or so to make sure everybody is adjusted and got their coffee and ready to listen in on this webinar. Thanks. Okay, everybody, I think we'll get started. I wanted to first off just welcome everyone and hello to our continuing onboarding webinar series devoted to you, the Humana agent. Today we're going to be doing kind of a high-level view of how to submit new business applications electronically. Going to dive down a little bit into some particulars about certain electronic applications so everybody can understand them, and we hope that you can come away with a lot of information on these electronic application systems. On behalf of Partners Advantage and the National Accounts team, I'm Kurt Armbers, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. So we've designed these webinars to enhance your opportunities to sell more life insurance, annuities, linked benefit business, and to streamline the process so serving your valuable clients is easier than ever before. We started these onboarding webinars at the beginning of the year. I can't believe we're almost finished with January. But we started with a website walkthrough. Then we did an onboarding webinar with contracting. We did an onboarding webinar on quoting and illustrating, and today we're going to be going over submitting new business electronically. Submitting applications electronically through Partners Advantage is the most efficient way of completing insurance forms in good order. You can save time, money, accessing electronic applications directly from the quote engine or from other areas of the Partners Advantage Humana Agent website. There are a few carriers that require paper applications, but for the most part, all carriers that you can contract with through Partners Advantage have some sort of electronic application. I wanted to make everybody aware that these electronic applications you have to have internet access. So be mindful of that. When you are in areas, unfortunately, I know agents have this problem sometimes where they're in areas where they don't have internet access. In cases like that, you can just do the paper application if you have to, or you can perhaps take down information from your client, enough information that you would need, go back to your home or to your office and complete the electronic application that way. Or you can even do it over the phone. Be in your office at your home, call your client up, your prospect, and do the application over the phone. I've done that myself, so it works very nicely. Okay? So we got three types of electronic applications. We have the quick ticket, the drop ticket, and the iGo Eapp. So it's just a real, by way of intro on each one of them. The carrier quick ticket is the short electronic form that certain carriers have developed for themselves. They have a proprietary application system that they developed. From the Partners Advantage Humana Agent website, you can get hyperlinked directly to these carrier-hosted websites to complete the application. All you need to do is just input a little information from your client, like their date of birth, social security number, beneficiary designation, and the like, some financial information. You get to put your information in there, and then a lot of times you hit submit, and you're good to go. They will set up they'll do the phone interview, and they'll do a paramed exam. They'll set the paramed exam up for you. So this is the quickest way of completing an electronic application, or any application for that matter. Then we have the drop ticket. Now the drop ticket is very similar to the quick ticket, but the drop ticket, you access that from the quote engine after completing a term or a guaranteed universal life quote. It is powered by iPipeline. That's probably the only difference. In quick ticket, you are getting directly access to the carrier website hyperlink there. Here, with the drop ticket, what you're going to do is it's going to be completing the quote, and then you're going to go from there to the application. I'll show you how that works too. Both of these will not require e-signature. Like I said, there'll be a paramed examination done, and the paramed is going to get that signature on the application for you from the insured. So then you have the iGo Eapp, and the iGo Eapp is also powered by iPipeline. It is a full paper application done electronically, and you have the insured who has to do a signature electronically typically by email. So email signature is done, completed, and this method is used by carriers who don't have their own electronic application system. Now, we're going to have a chance to have questions asked. I wanted to briefly mention that because we got quite a few people logging on, and again, I want to welcome and thank you everybody for attending the webinar. But what I have is the questions will be answered towards the end of the webinar, and if we can't get to everybody, we'll be able to answer the questions either by phone or by email. I have my partner, Kim Leggett, and she's going to be also helping out with some questions. She'll be fielding the questions and helping me with that. And also, because there's a number of nuances with the various electronic applications, Kim might be able to interject some of her knowledge and some of the things if I happen to miss it. We just want to make sure we cover everything there, so we'll be able to have her bring up some information as well. Okay, so getting back, each method is completed directly from the Partners Advantage website. You do not want to go to the carrier website. You want to go to the Partners Advantage website, Humana website, to get access to all these electronic applications. Also, each method assures that the application is done correctly and in good order, and thereby increases your placement ratio. So, the quick ticket. The quick ticket can be directly accessed from the Partners Advantage Humana Agent Portal by clicking on the Life tab you see right here off the left-hand side. That tab, you take the drop down, and you'll see the iGo Eapp Quick Ticket. So you go there, you click on that, and you'll see a number of different carriers to select from on the left-hand side of the screenshot. When you click on the desired carrier, you can follow the simple directions and complete the application. The carrier will handle a lot of your busy work, like I had mentioned. They will contact your client usually the same day or within 1 or 2 days, depending upon whether it's on a weekend or not. And and then they will complete the phone interview, which will basically take place of all those papers that you typically had to do on a paper application. No longer will you have to do 12, 15, 20-page applications. They will take care of a lot of the health-related questions, and then they will also schedule the paramed examination for you. They will talk it over with your client and decide whether they would be at home would be better or at work or some other destination. So it's essentially basically giving them the baton and having them finish the race. Here you see the carriers that have their own electronic application systems: Assurity and Banner, Fidelity, Genworth, ING, Protective, William Penn, which basically is a Banner in New York. So let me see. And then we have on the other side here, you see the iGo Eapp. This is a way of accessing that. We'll get back to this as well. But it's right there on this same page. Again, when you click on the Life tab, you take the drop down and you get into this page. And you just simply click on one of those. And I'll share with you how that works. You can also access the electronic application through Drop Ticket. Now, we just finished the Quick Ticket, and that might get a little confusing sometimes. But again, the Quick Ticket is the quickest way. Here with the Drop Ticket, you access the electronic application after doing a quote. You finish your quote, and you'll see after completing a quote that you'll see on the action column buttons here on this side, on this column, you'll see buttons such as the green Eapp. You'll have the blue Drop Ticket button, and you'll also have paper forms. You click on these buttons and you will get directly sent to the application system. You may wonder, why do some have paper and some have Drop Ticket? They have that availability for your convenience. Okay, so the Drop Ticket button is done from the quote engine, as I mentioned. Gets hyperlinked to the electronic application system where you can just follow their directions, very much like the Quick Ticket. Each carrier will have their own Eapp name. So some they may have a different kind of name. You may have the LQR, like with Genworth, or the App Assist with Banner. They also have their own steps to complete the application. However, many of them are very similar and easy to follow. Okay. Then we have the iGo. The iGo Eapp, there are actually 3 ways to access the iGo Eapp. Now again, the iGo is the paper form doing electronically. It's a little longer to do, but sometimes if you find you have a quote or a client where a certain carrier is best suited for that particular client, carrier, or product, and they only have iGo, it's the way to do it. A lot of great carriers use iGo, North American, Trans-American for just a couple of them. And you can access that from the home page. There's an iGo banner. I'll show you where that is on the home page as well, and also from the quote engine. So let me bring over real quickly. I think what I'm going to do is bring over my website here, okay? We're going to go over a little bit about these, how you can do this, how quickly it can be. All right. I always mention this website right here. I hope everybody can get very acquainted with it. Make it your own. Make this your toolkit, workbench. This is where you can gather a lot of great resources to help you build your business and make your life easier. So we're talking about the iGo Eapp. Now, I mentioned if you wanted to go get to that, it's right here. So you get to the website. You get into our website by going to www.partnersadvantage.com/Humana. And if you don't have a password, you'll have to develop a password for yourself. And your Humana email address will be your username. It will always be your username. So you'll be able to go click on right here. Let's go to, we're going to do an iGo Eapp. And what that'll do is it'll bring you to this right here, and you may have a bunch of cases that you're already working on. If you want to start a new case, you just simply start new case. And this is basically how you get started. You're putting in your name, your client's information. Case description is just for you, not that important. You might want to use it as your reference. For example, it may be, Mr. Jones, $500,000 term. And then you put on the carrier information right here. Okay. So that's how you get access to that. So you can also, let me show you here, getting back to the home page. If you were to go to the drop-down, I showed you how to do this. So you go from the life, you click on that, you go to here, and this is another way of getting to the iGo Eapp. Okay? Let me go to a quote. Let's go to, so how did I get to the quote? I took the life tab and I see term, guaranteed universal life quotes. This is how I get to do my quotes. We went over this, I think, last week. I'll show you real quickly how quick this can be. And you always like to put your date of birth in first. So we'll do this. We'll say it doesn't matter what state. We'll do $100,000. We'll put in, let's say, we can do numerous different types of terms, and we can also do the guaranteed universal lives. Sometimes people miss this. This is the permanent products right there. So I can do 3 quotes simultaneously. Here's your riders. We won't do that right now. This is just for showing you how to get to the electronic applications. We've got standard, non-tobacco, view all quotes. And I always click view all quotes. I think that gives me a better format that I prefer. And here we go. We have a bunch of carriers that we can use. Again, all these carriers are top carriers, A+ carriers, very competitive. So you should feel confident these carriers are going to be working for you, for your client very well. Okay, so here we got drop ticket for Genworth. Let's see what that's all about. You can click that directly from the quote if you're saying this is exactly what I want. It's the best price. We'll click on drop ticket, and what it'll do is it'll send you. This is, again, it's powered by iPipeline. It'll send you to a screen kind of similar to the iGo. It'll actually say iGo right here, but when you put in the information here, name, again, case description, you click on this, it's actually going to hyperlink you to Genworth. Okay? So another way to get to, let's say, we'll do a quick ticket. You go to here to the iGo Eapp quick ticket. I'll show you how quick it is to go from Genworth to get hyperlinked to their system. You go to Genworth quick request. We'll use them as an example. There we are. Now the very first part on this one, this particular electronic application wants you to first do the quote again. So you'll just fill in the information, state of solicitation, and select the product, the term, colony term, and you just continue on. And you hit calculate, it'll give you a quote, and then you just move on. So you finish the quote information, then you put in your information, then your client's information. It takes about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and if you really get good at it, it can even be faster than that. Then you click submit, and this will go instantaneous to Genworth, and they will then call your client up in about sometimes the same day. I've heard people say, Kurt, they called my client up an hour after I submitted the application, and then they'll set up the paramedic. Also note that when you go here, they'll have some nice sales AIDS. You can look that up. Those are very important too. They also have, let me go back to, you go back to the, right here where it says Genworth What's Next. This will be important for your client. So what happens next with your application? You can go over the telephone interview with your client, prep them a little bit. Tell them it's about a 30-minute interview. You don't want to have them volunteer information, but answer the questions truthfully. And you'll go over how to better prepare yourself for the paramed examination. So you get that. It'd be right underneath Genworth What's Next. Banner has a lot of their information. When you click on Banner, you'll click right here. Click here to access the online application. Okay. Click on that, and here you'll see all you need to do to get started is you'll click Request for Life Insurance Interview, and that will get you started with the application. But know that on the bottom they have a lot of helpful information here too, something you can share with your clients, like the flow chart, what is next, what comes afterwards. They have a step-by-step start here. Look at that, how easy that is. And it talks about what the broker's going to do, and the call center, and the paramed, and you just follow the follow that flow chart, and you'll be able to share this with your client, so your client knows exactly what's going on. Now, when you submit this, what happens? It goes to the carrier, but you also have a dedicated new business case manager at Partners Advantage who will follow this case along with the carrier. So they'll be able to give you notes. They'll email you as to what the status is. If maybe there's a problem setting up the paramed, your client hasn't called back yet, we'll let you know about that. So you can give your client a call and say, hey, you know, we got to get that taken care of. Okay. So we went over quick ticket, drop ticket. Here, paper forms. Let's say you have to do a paper form. Look how easy this is. You click on paper form, and it'll send you directly to the forms that you need right away. And then on this, if you wanted to add a form, it's kind of counterintuitive, but you want to make it a red. See, this is your package area for paper forms. This is the stuff that's going to be sent. You can email it or print it, send it to your client or print it. So I'm adding information. If I don't need that information, you just click the red and you eliminate it from this side. Typically, the information that is in yellow is what you need to have, but let's say you need to have a HIPAA authorization. I got to put that in there. That's usually in here anyway, but maybe a non-medical report, I want to put that in there. You'll scroll down and it'll have certain military disclosure form for those in the military, a replacement form. You have that there too. Remember, you click on the green button, it'll show up in the package right here, and you can print it or email it. All right. Another way to get to the paper form, or what we call life form, is to go to the Life tab, go to Life Forms, and here you put in information. The company will do, let's say, North American. Service type is always going to be new business. State. Product type. We'll do the term. We'll do the Advantage. And so then you're done with that. This is always going to be paper. You have an iGo Eapp opportunity here, but if we're just to do the paper, we can just leave it at paper and then click Look Up, and it'll have what we just had before. But you saw that when you go from the quote engine, you get there instantaneously. So going from the quote engine usually is the fastest way to do it. Now here we have quite a bit more in the package, and maybe some of this information you need. Maybe you don't need a temporary life insurance form. You can just eliminate it, or you don't need the replacement. You can eliminate that. So that's the way you do the paper form. I'm hoping that most of you won't have to do the paper form because it's just, you're looking at a number of pages that you can eliminate going electronically. Now, a couple things that I've noticed just recently we need to change. Everybody make note of this. Let's say you got to the quote and you're seeing, I want to do Transamerica, I want to do this Trendsetter, and it only has paper form it shows. Well, it does have you can access this through iGo. iGo, in good order, is an acronym for in good order, okay? So make note of that. We're going to get this fixed, but this button right here should be right here too. So all the term products for Transamerica can be accessed electronically, okay? Also, North American has an electronic application they just instituted not too long ago. We're happy about that. However, on their applications, anybody 70 or older, you cannot do electronic application. We're working to see if they can get that corrected or amended somehow. But right now, anybody who is 70 or older, you cannot do electronic application. Okay. Kim, is there anything that you think I have missed? Any nuances on these electronic applications or any questions that we may have right now?
No, I think that you covered everything pretty well, Kurt. There was a question in regard to what a one-year annual renewable term was, and I typed it in the chat box for those of you who were questioning that. I typed the answer in there. So, and okay. I don't think we have any other questions at this time.
Okay. So yeah, what I would do is this. Everybody out there, we have nearly 50 people in attending. It looks like we're getting even more coming in. But for those on the line, I want to encourage everybody who hasn't done an electronic application to do one thing for me. Do one on yourself. Do one on a family member. Get practice that way. Don't go do it cold turkey in front of a client, but you can do it pretty much all the way through. And if you're not going to, I'd recommend getting a life insurance policy on yourself if you don't have one, or because typically that amount of money you're paying on the premium will be taken care of by the commissions that you make for the most part. So do one on yourself. Go through the process, see how that is. When I first got started doing this, I did it on my brother, and it was valuable information. I got to know exactly what you have to do, how long something takes, maybe a little glitch in the system, and I remember the first time I did it, I got logged out, and I did something wrong, and I went back to it, and this was with Protective, and it took me 10 minutes to complete it. So it was very, very easy to do. So I encourage everybody to go on the website and to do one on yourself, do one on a family member, and if you don't have to get the insurance, you can go through through the whole system. Just let our new business department know that you submitted an application that doesn't need to go, and we'll cancel it there. But get that practice down, and you'll find how easy it is and how quickly you can submit applications, get to the next application, and just feel a lot more comfortable about the whole system. So, so I want to